Hello! After practicing normal CM, I now got my LCM kill, and I decided to do another commentary. If you're interested in doing this as well, check out the CM Discords that I put in the description. This is not an encounter guide though, so you should already be familiar with the normal CM mechanics. There are only small differences mechanic-wise. And we are playing a variant of the standard unit strat, so after the green I use my Scourge Portal to get us away from Xeros for the first Malice ad. And I actually take a few steps back first so that we have more time to cleave the ad, because in LCM it takes longer to kill them. And I also put my personal target on a lot of Malice ads, that's just so that I can easier retarget them for Torch 5, because Torch 5 might get supplied around my target, and maybe I also need to immobilize them via Dagger 3. However, the first Malice ad won't actually lose resistance in time, so there's no point. And now I use CPC for the Gluttony collection, because the small projectiles will otherwise grant a barrier to Xeros. The Chrono also brings feedback for that reason, and we just use it at the same time here. Next, I use my Scourge Portal to port us out of the Rage AoE and behind the Malice ad. I could have used it a bit more to the side so that we'd be better behind it, but it's fine, people can just sidestep. And roughly when the green is halfway done, resistance runs out, so I use Dagger 3 to immobilize the ad, and our DPS players have more time to kill it. In LCM, the boss has more health, so our phase timings will be later, and we actually have to play this drop and sidestep the next wall. And when the breakbar starts, I use F4 and Flash Golem first and follow it up with Torch 5. However, the breakbar was done too quickly, so Torch 5 didn't even hit. And now, since I'm a healer, I go and collect the orbs. And since now it's a bit of downtime, about CPC and feedback for Gluttony. When there's only one collection, the Chrono and me can just use it at the same time. But when there are two, there are 3 points in this fight where this happens. I will use it first, and the Chrono will use it afterwards. Next, I use a convenience portal. It's not in the standard unit strat sheet, but it can be done even with standard portals. It just helps with DPS uptime for our melee DPS. Don't take it back too early though, so that you don't get hit by the Rage AoE. And starting from now, we get double walls, so we have to walk to the right when the wall starts. And at the end of this wall, the Chrono will use their first portal in this phase. They will actually do this in CS though, which is a difference to the standard unit strat, because we want to replace the next Scourge Portal with another Chrono Portal. This is also the first double collection, so I use CPC for the first, and the Chrono used their feedback for the second collection. Now, as I said, instead of my Scourge Portal, we get another Chrono Portal, because it has higher range, it's easier to see, and it can just be dropped in the boss hitbox. So it just makes this part safer and also better for our melee DPS. Next, we get green into double drop, and we have to kill the ads in time. I do immobilize one of them, but they were right on top of each other, so I'm not sure what's the right move here, as spreading them isn't really great, but if they'd reach the boss, 5 stacks is better than 10, I'd say, so yeah. Now we meet on hard for the next wall, and I actually should not have used Torch 5 and F5 here. I should have actually delayed them, because we have 2 double walls, which means we have to jump above this one. And now I do Condi Cleanse and Boon Up as good as I can, but I miss Big Might and fast cleanses from Torch 5 and F5, so it's quite slow. And here's another Chrono Portal. In this strat, if the Chrono didn't manage their cooldown properly, this would have needed to be mine. But since it was fine, I will have my portal up for the next Rage AoE after this collection. So I port us out of Rage, behind the Malice ad. But we don't have to cleave it down, because we're close enough to phasing, and I don't even have to immobilize it either. So for the breakbar, I again start with Flash Golem and F4. And if I have it up, Torch 5 as well, but I didn't have it up, so I swapped for Warhorn 4, but the breakbar was again broken too quickly for that either. And here I use CPC again. Due to our phasing in LCM, we have CPC and feedback up, even though we used it before phasing, which in the normal CM usually isn't the case. Now we go back to the boss. After the green, there will be another Scourge Portal. It's the same as a standard unit, however I do use it a bit more to the side, not straight across, and we take it back as soon as the rage AoE is over. That way we don't have to sidestep at all, because we won't get hit by the wall. And the Chrono pre-places their portal for roughly 40%, which will be the double drop. Now again, my CPC, it's a double collection again, so I do use CPC, the Chrono won't use their feedback, they'll keep it for roughly now. And after we finish collecting, the Malices take the portal almost immediately and everyone else follows for the Rage AoE. I actually did take this portal quite early, but it's fine, I'm a healer. And I actually did that because I wanted to target the Malices, but at that point that's not needed. For the first big puddles, I go back behind the stack to ensure my own survival and to still be close enough to pull down players if needed. It wasn't needed, so I heal up and go to the side for the next dodge. I put my personal target, and here again I should have delayed F5 for the wall jump. I actually didn't play this part well, my Connie cleansing was lacking, and I didn't use Torch 5 quickly enough either, so I still gotta improve here, because it's really important that the Malices die before they reach zeros. After the wall, we will have the Bad Collection, which again is the first of 2 collections right after each other, so it's my job to use CPC. So I use CPC, and then on my way out of Rage, I try to collect some orbs. There's actually one that I get, I dash out, and then I dash back in, but the other orbs are out of my reach, and actually the boss got 2 stacks from that, but that's okay, this tends to happen during Bad Collection. Now I use my Scourge portal towards X to get out of Rage again, and the Chrono pre-places their portal on X, so that after the second collection everyone can port away immediately. We have to take this portal in time before the ad slams on the ground, because that's when new Malice targets are selected if players are still in range, but we don't want additional Malices here. I again use my heal well to top off the player who got hit, and after the green I will go and pre-place my portal. And then go back in line to bait the ward properly, wait a bit for the downs after dodging, but no one is down, so I don't have to pull, can take the portal back and walk with the stack. And here again, I shouldn't have used F5 and Torch 5, I should have delayed them for until after the wall jump here, so I can only use the limited stuff that I have up right now. Here I use CPC again for the collection and collect some orbs. And I think I was the only one who was quick enough to the other side, so that's why we got 2 additional stacks here, but it's still okay. And next I use my Scourge portal towards Circle to get us out of Rage again. I ported us quite far out, so that could be better. Now the Malices will take the CS portal, and then we will spread out for the next puddles. I stay close to the middle again though, because I want to be able to pull down players if needed. Next is another collection, so I use CPC, and since we're in LCM, we are not able to phase during the green, and we will have to wait until the next Malices spawn, which happens during the wall, then phase immediately after they appear to make all 6 Malices despawn, and CC immediately, which is especially important at 10%. So again, I start with Flash Golem and F4 and follow that up by Torch 5. For 10%, I use Heal Well and Barrier, we meet on Arrow, and from there I portal slightly behind Star, and now the pressure really starts. I use F4 for the active healing while walking and keep applying Barrier, and I will rest the player who wasn't at stack. And then again F5, F3 and F4 for the Smash Green Smash combo. I keep well for when we're stationary again at the boss. And I also use CPC for the collection and Serpent Siphon to block the melee spawn damage for my subgroup. I collect, apply Summer Barrier, then take the portal, wait a bit, walk back, Barrier, dodge, and use F4 for the active healing. Now we will make our way on the Malice ads because we want to kill them before they reach zeros. And now I just have to use all my Barrier and healing cooldowns because we have to kill during the next collection anyway. I could have prevented some downs here by being quicker with my Barrier. However, at this point I want to emphasize the importance of damage reduction food for non-healers. And yeah, we killed it! The final 10% are actually the most volatile phase in this fight, We need high DPS and cleave, perfect dodge execution and positioning, mechanics handling, and a lot of heals. Thanks for watching!